Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about the two main processes of photosynthesis, which is light reaction and Calvin cycle, or also known as the dark reaction. So first, we'll talk about the processes in light reaction. What is light reaction? And what does the light reaction do? So, what is light reaction? Light reaction uses sunlight to initiate electron transfer, thereby reducing NADP plus to NADPH and splitting water to give off oxygen as a byproduct. It also takes place in the thylakoids of the chloroplast. Now, what does the light reaction do? It splits water into hydrogen ions or protons and oxygen atoms. It releases electrons to drive the transfer of energy in the electron transport chain to enable the production of NADPH. The protons or hydrogen ions are used to drive the production of ATP. About 10% of the oxygen is used for respiration in the plant and the remainder is released via the stomata. Alright, now that you have the knowledge of knowing what light reaction is, let's go ahead and dive into a visualization of light reaction. The light reaction occurs within the thylakoid of the chloroplast. Here, special pigments absorb light energy and transfer it to high-energy electrons, eventually producing ATP and the electron carrier NADPH. Let's zoom into the thylakoids to take a closer look at how ATP is created. The thylakoid membranes contain specialized molecules that work together to perform the light reactions. Light is absorbed by protein pigment complexes called photosystems. There are two photosystems, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. The photosystems transform light energy to chemical energy by exciting and then shutting electrons from molecule to molecule in a chain-like fashion on the thylakoid membrane. This process is called an electron transport chain. Let's take a closer look to see how this process works. First, photons of light hit chlorophyll, a light-absorbing pigment in photosystem 2. Electrons in the chlorophyll are excited to a higher energy level. The excited electrons are passed to an electron carrier. Meanwhile, water splits and releases electrons. These electrons replace those lost at photosystem 2. The byproduct of this reaction is oxygen, which is eventually released into the air. The other products are protons or hydrogen ions, which are released into the inside of the thylakoid or lumen. The excited electrons move to the cytochrome complex. Some of the energy from the electrons is used by the cytochrome complex to transport additional protons into the lumen. The second electron carrier, a protein inside the lumen, receives the electrons and passes them to photosystem 1. These electrons have now lost most of the energy they gained from light in photosystem 2. Photons of light hit chlorophyll in photosystem 1 and excite the electrons again. The electrons are then passed to the third electron carrier. Finally, these electrons are either recycled or they interact with an enzyme and NADP+, the final reaction acceptor of the light reactions to form NADPH. Some of the energy from light is now stored in the reduced molecule NADPH. Some of the energy released from the transfer of electrons establish a proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane. Protons that are accumulated in the lumen diffuse into the stroma through an enzyme called ATP synthase. ATP synthase uses the potential energy of the proton gradient to combine ADP with an organic phosphate to form ATP. In this way, the potential energy is transformed into chemical energy stored as ATP. ATP and NADPH now have stored energy from the light reactions. This energy can be used in the Calvin cycle, which we will discuss later. Remember that this light-driven electron transport chain is usually continuous in the presence of sunlight. It encompasses a series of chemical reactions that involve light absorption, energy conversion, and electron transfer carried out by the photosystems and other enzymes on the membrane of the thylakoids. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel with the notification bell on for other topics. Thank you.